Mr. Lynch, knives, whatever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, or 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 simply, David, not David Inch, it's March 31, so last day, March 36, 36, it's Tuesday neighbor, today, totally cloudy, yes, white cloudy sky to see, more gray than white, Janice is totally cloudy sky, also with that rain at the moment, and it's also wide and living and cold, and see, perhaps more vivid and cold, and Janice is one, and it's nearly half 13 and there 13 and 11 news. 53 and 6 Fahrenheit, 12 Celsius, and it means it's really soft like easy beers, back soft Celsius for the spring period, so supports for SEO, the effect giant for la stagione selettiva, lo effect really per campo for su the parts las passa summer, las passa autumn, las passa winter, and previous as winter on December 31, in particular at 16 for the PV, now also for the spring work, so the around all the seasons, effect the seasons overcome for years, so the parts is complete now, and so as regard the spring in as you remember, last we entered into last March 20th to be based as in Italy on at 10:01 a.m. Absolutely, mi fiindcă ormai sunt boli cinesi così misura to resid remissing sim society intense ma purpose the fact that we should watch me is better perhaps for me and in this new intervention so for the summer the summer the autumn the winter in fact for summer society out for the autumn once again soft for the winter agility cold so sono in generale si ripeterà questi gadget sigarette grisa, adesso io questa figura sempre tu da absolute complete but yes not considering yes even if we enter in spring practically 11 days ago it's here it's still cold and so but I don't feel cold as perhaps because I repeat all this thing I repeat all this thing on the winter period with reports not only here also but yes I don't feel cold but I feel less than più da stesso practice following this in particular to practice which always at very cool and so even if it's cold in this days of spring I don't feel cold for this and non forse proprio fornite fin con si cool fornite fin con feel cold fornite fin con yes noi si mentalmente fin con diverse feel cool in general for me this period good and if I repeat is cool instead what I was enjoyed to absolutely I can see them it's bad really bad tantissimo perché mi sembra finito Miguel di afferma finché tre partecipanti di servizi si furono 52 3 and 6 Fahrenheit 12 Celsius but in part in questo atmosphere CPD si può dire di sé se curtine sono se curtengesi diventata ci siamo perfect se si suppose fa cosa di Beatrice Sky yes totally with the cloudy with also this altering and so according considering the last days considering according what the for today considering message starting casi possible almeno se pratically sure at late after it's really between it's really early after because I also consider between late after might begin darker black and also at your evening but as well as went magicians wizards qualsiasi inizio chiazzi come scritto lì via so they really clear oh bad if not tragic so from the mythical winner not cortine flash long flash mix fancy cortine that's number one Martin sono vostro borsi per questo cortine in particolare da Roberti per volevo fare andare for sono se tu per cortine su beautiful grey cortine beautiful paint we bench sotto il primo passo per come cortine un cortine zinc si mette sì no rito ma come se me should be point del festival per performance It's the point to the first one to the order for to come to one of them is read the comments share no if you consider that the way from the shot near me on one and one side think yes singing flowers song flowers and experiments. I don't know. Calcolo è if not, even better, cioè ripeto, se shot pratica the first part of the video which veloce asciutto di video, resta scano, sfida in genere, scazzi come comune, scazzi come oromus, snaps no, e risorso la mia comune, nemico room. Oh, from a work perspective, also from this surprise, I shot a similar to classical shot of him on the sequel fantasy on a verbal to just should be on a to if not usually manti se for the scurti ripete il curtino beauty of print invece la posso essere sono forse carotini trimax at least usually cartini still con image in cover image general and cartings in the cover image diciamo di also still the looks and as soon as time when esce cito I also see this shot so lì fact buff when this integrare shoot non so ma tomorrow this che si meglio la serie dell'ite spiccio senza senso potrebbero sostenere ripetere le sue cortine bio pentemessa possono che forse sostenere questa forza per cortine non funziona che senza una xatisa no possono che essere detto a si dito su cortine per mettere ripetere specie possono che for time just when it is spiccio senza but also always better visible for me needs sentire in this shot si wants me general shot. Ragazzi, conosciute l'ottimismo, fantasia, ottimismo, questa risonanza, in parte del tuo ottimismo, nella serie di test picture sense for tutti, su fare lo solito, ripeto, ma sembra also and always better visible for me, needs sentire ti rinizzi 18 quanti milioni già ne 100. And finally, for my mythical keyboard, Magic 40 PG, scattered ti fa also in case of me già ne 100. From a few weeks he was John 24 from another shot in fact a few minutes John 24 and McCarthy was birthday Magolant and dedicated to birthday and yes McCarthy dedicated to him the yes Magolant also known as you know much in sheriff to pick the sheriff department and he told me the contract because you know he is the one the same thing the same person and I few days ago also dedicated my first version of a track beautiful track masterpiece for me just into Speak season 2 and season 2 and also dedicated to it the vecchia project pratica 10 secondi I dedicated also to Mastringe Parliament birthday and much to do dedicated 20 birthday and if that also mention Lynch's birthday 4 days before my colon's birthday it is birthday dedicated at this point I should plan also version to but at this point I think I'll dedicate it I in the next video his birthday where I'll dedicate it also to Joan Chen's birthday on April 26 so in a few weeks and in case for the first version si make a buona ragione it's the last video uploaded so yes vabbè uso sì this shot perché si acqua condition libero ma object acqua condition senza sempre secco in fact in fact senza tri pratica is main factory sono letto display also that it proprio per tenere per proprio ma main proprio is factory sono letto display also sono che moneta fixite ma getting people for John poi se vedi che due sono per esistere also to myself also because and finally I hope you will get breakfast it's a little già also massive così little performance significa even if it's a really system per te in fact the occasion for system set in general for the people all for my record not just for my arsos for us cannot stop us automatic breakfast still but in winter period to the summer general lessons family lesson goes in small April by there as since March in pratica instead of speaking until the next assembly journey, at the same time it's late, at the ball person at sferi con delle correcce sono tutti questi faccia breaks finte metteva restart to fitare un attimo mi fanno parte mettere questi si ripeterà così siamo si mette questo vado a ripetere con le rigare it's just on just for 13 and 11 minutes but in particolare ci sono sempre sette insomma io di forte condizione a Milan che non si può si perché fa sono mossi assolutamente